I was scrolling through my YouTube feed earlier today and I came across a particular video. The video was called Goku is a Trash Character. And within the video, there were certain talking points that I feel doesn't actually hold weight to his argument. So today we're actually going to be responding to that video. Now, the video is made by LongBeachGriffy, and before I even continue, I just want to say that this is all love. I do not harbor any ill will of any kind towards LongBeachGriffy. Actually, I really like his content and I think he's a great person. But for this particular video, I feel as if there actually is a counter argument to be made towards his points, and I want to see if I'm actually able to do so. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. But with that being said, let's get into it. So again, guys, we're going to be reacting and trying to come up with a response to this video. Again, no hatred, no ill will. Again, no type of hate towards LongBeachGriffy at all. But I think this will actually make for a pretty cool discussion. So let's see how this goes.
I was on my feed and people always want to say that Goku is the greatest. He's the strongest MC. He's the strongest MC, and this is what I have to say about that. At what cost?
Okay, I gotta stop that real quick. I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually agree with him at that point. Like, there will be points where I do agree, but I don't think Goku's the strongest MC by any means. There are other characters that are significantly stronger than Goku. Like, Goku's up there, but there are way other people that are like either on par or potentially stronger because of that. Like, I mean, that's a whole separate debate, but I don't think Goku's the strongest MC by any means. Like, I do agree with him on that.
At what cost? What does it mean to be the best if you are a terrible human being? If you are a terrible human being, what does it mean to be the greatest? Right? And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Dragon Ball Z fans in here. Well, Dragon Ball fans. If you are a Dragon Ball Super fan, I'll block you.
Well, I mean, hey, look, hey, he might have his own feelings about Super and all that stuff. Hey, that's his own opinion. But I actually think that that portion right there really dampens his argument, I should say. And I'll point that out later.
It's just at what cost, right? And everybody disrespects Vegeta like he isn't the king of all Saiyans.
That's
like
actually true.
The king of all Saiyans, right? I read a post on Twitter not too long ago, and that post said, Goku is the strongest fighter, but Vegeta really won. He married into, and this is quote by quote, he married into a multi-billionaire family. His wife is bad as fuck. And literally, I'm quoting it word for word. His wife is bad as fuck, and his son is not a bitch.
Okay, so, all right, I think this is where argument starts to actually kick in. So, yes, Vegeta was very lucky, right? You know, like we all know that Saiyans are attracted to strong-willed women, right? Hence why Goku's with Chi-Chi, Gohan's with Videl, Vegeta's with, Bulma. But him marrying her and, like, you know, having all this money doesn't necessarily mean that he won, right? Think about it. She has all the money in the world, right? She can practically have whatever she wants, but you also have access to the Dragon Balls that can completely overshadow anything that Bulma can offer to the table. Literally anything, right? It has, like, Bulma has all the money in the world, but can't bring people back from the dead, right? So, again, having money is one thing, but that's not like the end all be all. And not only that, happiness is completely subjective, right? I mean, in Bulma's case and Vegeta's case, having all that money, sure, it makes their lives maybe easier. They have access to all these perks and whatnot, right? Goku enjoys the simple life, right? He enjoys living out in the boonies with Chi-Chi, who enjoys living there too. And not only that, even though Bulma has all this money, she has no idea how to cook. Whereas Chi-Chi's in the kitchen, whipping, making all these like gigantic meals for her family of, you know, her own skill. The only thing Bulma is able to do is cook a pack of ramen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, again, completely subjective. that, I mean, I get it. Like, money is helpful, but that's definitely not the end all be all. And not only that, the major reason why Chi-Chi even wanted money in the first place was to make sure that Gohan's life was easier, right? And once he married Videl, he has access to all kinds of money because Mr. Satan is rich. Like literally right below Capsule Corp is Mr. Satan because he's the savior of the world. So Gohan is living large and is doing good, right? They're fine. They're honestly fine. Although Chi-Chi still wants money and all that stuff. But again, it's to be able to further make Gohan's life comfortable. And he's already comfortable. So again, completely subjective. I really don't think that was a good point.
Right? Trunks has remained the greatest throughout all of everything. GT. This nigga came back from the future to save motherfuckers, right? He came back from the future to save niggas, right? Not only that, his son was OP. This nigga Trunks beat Goten ass every single time. Every time they was playing around, beating his ass. Literally, Trunks was the alpha. He was the alpha between their friendship. Nigga, and you know why he was the alpha? Because Goku wasn't in his life enough.
Okay. Okay. There's a lot to break down with that. So, it's no secret. It's no secret that Trunks is I'll say the quote unquote alpha of his relationship with Goten. Kid Trunks specifically, right? Makes sense. Trunks was alive, I believe, 1 year before Goten was born. So he had that advantage, you know? But when you think about it though, and if you're comparing, like, you know, because like Vegeta was in Trunks' life, but Goku wasn't in his son's life, you can throw Gohan in that mix as well. You have to remember, oh, and he also threw in Future Trunks as well. So we'll try to throw all that in comparison with all this. So we'll say the 2 iterations of Trunks, Kid Trunks and Future Trunks, one did have access to his father being in his life, which is Kid Trunks. But you got to remember that though he was in his life, Vegeta really was still looking out for himself, right? I mean, he trained by himself, did everything by himself. I mean, but that's just in Vegeta's nature. It wasn't even until like, what we saw in the Buu saga that because Trunks landed a hit on Vegeta, he took him to the amusement park, right? And not only that, before Vegeta died by using Final Explosion on Majin Buu, he straight up said, I have never held you once, even when you were a baby. The first time he has ever held his son was before he died, right? And with Goku literally embraced Gohan as much as he was able to until, you know, certain events happened and whatnot, right? So when he says that it's because, you know, Goku wasn't in Goten's life, you got to remember Goten's life was a lot more lax than Gohan's, for sure, right? Goten grew up in a time of peace. Obviously, same with Kid Trunks. But you have to remember Goten grew up without having to harbor the weight of the responsibility of taking care of the planet, right? And not only that, Gohan was still alive. So, oh, and another thing too, I love Trunks, right? I love Future Trunks. I think he's a great character, right? But I would not, like, Gohan is still the strongest half Saiyan. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, Future Trunks would be right next to him, but Gohan is still up there. He doesn't train, obviously, but, well, up until, like, you know, Super, but again, he said he doesn't want to talk about Super. We're going to leave all of that behind, right? If we strictly stay focused on Dragon Ball Z, Gohan is exponentially stronger than Trunks in every regard. And not only that, you have to remember that Trunks would have never been able to learn how to fight if it wasn't because of the character that he thinks is, like, you know, like a punk or whatever the case may be, which is Gohan. He learned how to fight from future Gohan before coming to the past and then learning how to fight even more from his father, right? And last time I checked, like, this man Gohan was out here stronger than all the other Z Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Or at least during, I will say, the Cell Saga, but we'll get to that in a bit. But to say that Trunks is, like, the greatest of them all, in terms, I would say, in half Saiyans and whatnot, and comparing that to Gohan, and strictly focusing on Dragon Ball Z, I don't agree with that at all.
Let's talk about Gohan. Let's talk about Gohan. Literally, Gohan, this nigga Gohan almost died. This nigga Gohan almost died on planet Namek because this nigga Goku decided, oh, I just need a little bit more time. I need a little bit more time to get recuperated. Nigga, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, for what? For what?
Okay, this is gonna be a quick point. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yes, obviously like it was Gohan and everybody else who was fighting. They did almost down Namek because Goku hasn't recuperated yet. But you have to realize though, like if everybody's like, you know, fairly battered, right? You know, they're all weakened from all their battles and whatnot, and Goku comes through and doesn't decide to recuperate. Like if he decided like, you know what, I'm only gonna go 50% and then head into battle, more than likely his assistance would not help by any means, right? You got to think think realistically. It makes no sense for somebody who's injured to try to go into a battle with everybody else who is injured. At that point, you really don't contribute, right? If you're able to get just enough time to be able to heal, that greatly can increase your chance of being able to come out successful. Now, granted, this is anime, so literally there is plot armor and all that stuff, but realistically speaking, if Goku didn't recuperate, he would really have not contributed much to that battle, and they probably all would have gotten wiped out. But it is what it is.
If you was a real nigga, you'd be out there on the field. Why didn't everybody else get a chance to recuperate? You know why? Because plot armor. Because fucking plot armor.
Again, I said that earlier.
Oh, Goku's gonna save everybody. He's the main character. And then they off my nigga Vegeta, bro. They be treating... I'm sorry, y'all. I'm about to start crying. They be treating this nigga like shit every fucking time. This nigga comes second to Goku every single time. But just like the post said, this nigga's been winning.
Okay, again, I already explained the whole winning part, but I do agree with him on that. I don't understand why they do Vegeta so dirty. I really don't get it, bro. Like, Vegeta, he's had so much character development within Dragon Ball. It's actually insane. But they give him the shaft every single time. Every chance that they get to give him the shaft, they give him the shaft. Especially in, Resurrection F. They literally, Vegeta had his moment to shine, and they stripped that away from him and still gave it to Goku. So, no, yeah, in terms of him saying that they do Vegeta wrong, completely agree. They need to stop doing that, because that's actually crazy.
He's been winning. But back to Gohan, because I'm going off the scales, right? This nigga Gohan, literally, nigga, this nigga Goku has not been in Gohan life. And we all know that. I don't have to say that. I don't have to say that to y'all. Y'all know already. If y'all watch Dragon Ball, y'all know already. This nigga is not in his son's life, bro. This nigga is so not in this nigga's son's life that when Gohan showed up to fight Cell in the Cell games, Gohan dressed like Piccolo.
Okay, I don't think that's a strong argument at all. Whether or not somebody decides to dress like somebody else is completely irrelevant. That can be completely based on somebody's style or something like that. That's like saying like, if somebody grew up with their dad, right, and their dad dresses with Nike and whatnot, right, and this son wants to rock some Uspas, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't really implement or determine whether or not the person was in that person's life or not, like at all. That is completely subjective based on how somebody's style is. He decided that he likes the style of Piccolo more, so he rocked that outfit. That has no correlation as to whether or not Goku was in his life or not. And even at that, when Goku died, when he fought Raditz, and Piccolo took him to train him and all this stuff before Vegeta and Nappa came through, the outfit he survived in the wilderness was Goku's outfit. Like, am I missing something? Like, that's completely subjective, 100%. Like, that does not correlate whether or not he's in his life at all. Now, granted, yes, Goku was not really a part of Gohan's life. We do all know this. That's why, there's a lot of jokes about Piccolo being Gohan's father. Funny memes and all that stuff does hold truth to it. It does. But you also got to remember, Vegeta wasn't a part of Future Trunks' life for a longer period of time than Goku was a part of Gohan's. Remember that in the Saiyan Saga, Gohan was introduced by Goku bringing him over to the Kame House and showing him to everybody over there before he got attacked and, Raditz took him away. in which Goku sacrificed himself to save Gohan, right? That was a sacrificial moment. In the Frieza saga, Gohan goes to Namek and does his thing and all that stuff, but Goku still ends up going to Namek to try to help everybody out, right? That's him being there for his son. But remember that Gohan went to Namek of his own volition. Regardless of what Chi-Chi was saying to Gohan, he still went to Namek of his own volition. And even through that, Goku still went to Namek to try to help everybody out, which means that he was trying to be there for his son. Cell Saga, Goku was absolutely there. 100% he was there the whole time up until the end. And even at that, in which he sacrificed himself for his son, which even at that, there's a point that I'm going to make, but I'll get back to that after he talks about it. But Goku was there for his son. And for the Buu Saga, Goku was dead. Goku was dead because of the events of the Cell Saga, and even which he said, guys, don't bring me back to life because my existence always seems to bring trouble, right? He sacrificed himself ultimately for the greater good, right? So to use that as and even at that, all those times that he was still with Gohan still equate more to Vegeta being in Future Trunks' life. Again, Future Trunks went 18 years without his father. 18 years. That is insane. Like, Vegeta, yes, he died trying to protect everybody from the androids in the future, but Trunks still grew up without a father for a multitude of years, significantly longer than Gohan. So to try to use that as an argument doesn't hold weight.
He fucking dressed like Piccolo, nigga. You know how fucking upset I'd be if my son showed up to the fucking cell. But that's what even makes it worse, right? That's what even makes it worse, right? This nigga didn't even care that his son showed up like that. He didn't. I would have whooped his ass. We trained in the hyperbolic time chamber for a year. No, fuck that.
Which is actually crazy because, like, if with how strong Gohan was during the Cell Saga, Goku would have lost anyway. But let's continue.
That, man. Fuck that. Right? This nigga Goku is a bad fucking father. And he is just a bad person, period. This nigga puts his life, he puts everybody's life in danger. For what? The Cell games. I'm going back to the Cell games because this nigga had so many L's during the Cell games. He had so many L's during the Cell games. This nigga literally, and it still make me mad. It keep me up to this day. This nigga Goku, he threw this nigga Cell a Sensu beam. Oh my God.
Okay. So this argument is kind of like a double-edged sword, right? And I say that because do I think that Goku was irresponsible for giving Cell a Sensu beam? Yes, I think that was very foolish, right? But there are a multitude of things that led up to that point. One, obviously being that Goku did see Gohan turn Super Saiyan 2 in the hyperbolic time chamber. So he knew that Gohan was stronger than Cell. He knew that it doesn't matter how strong Cell powers up, Gohan would be able to defeat him, right? And that's excluding perfect Cell, right? Because obviously nobody knew that was going to happen, but perfect form Cell, Goku knew for a fact Gohan was stronger than him. It doesn't matter how much he tries to power up. If Gohan powers up to Super Saiyan 2, Cell stands no chance, right? Now, again, I do agree the Sensu beam portion is foolish. I completely agree with that. But in the grand scheme of things, it still made no difference. Gohan was still going to beat Cell. And even at that, that moment would have never have happened if it wasn't actually because of Vegeta. Remember that the Cell games happened because of Vegeta. This literally the entirety of from Perfect Cell on is Vegeta's fault. All of it. You have to remember that because of how cocky and confident Vegeta was in his own abilities and being, the prince of all Saiyans, even though, truthfully speaking, he should be the king of all Saiyans. But it's because of all of that that we had to deal with Perfect Cell, that we had to deal with, you know, him potentially being able to destroy the planet. Trunks tried to stop his father, but he decided, you know what, there's no way he's gonna get so strong that we can't handle him. So I'm gonna fend off my son so Cell can reach his perfect form. So that way, you know, we can prove which one is stronger, or he's not gonna be a challenge for me, or whatever the case may be. If Vegeta never allowed that to happen, Cell would have died right then and there, and that would have been the end of the Cell saga. That would have been it. But because of those events that happened, that led up to him getting his perfect form, that led up to them training in the hyperbolic time chamber, that led up to them realizing that none of them, apart from Gohan, can beat him, and that led up to Goku being foolish and giving Cell a senzu bean. Again, not absolving what Goku did, but you can't also absolve what Vegeta did either. That's literally Vegeta's fault, but it is what it is.
He threw the nigga the sensu bean to fucking prove a point, bro. He threw this nigga a sensu bean to prove a point, my nigga. He was like, oh, my son gonna beat your ass, nigga. Oh, my mama, he gonna fuck you up, bitch. That nigga said, here you go, everybody. Vegeta, Kakarot. Like, what the fuck you doing, bro? That shit could have been done. Goku could have beat that nigga, right? But what are you doing, bro? What are you doing, man? Okay, I believe my son can, like, let the nigga fight for a couple seconds, right? You ain't gotta throw the nigga. This nigga literally, he's on the verge of fucking making the future fucked up, and you just threw this nigga a senzu bean. A senzu bean. And the nigga almost lost the fight. Gohan almost lost the fight. Do you know why Goku won? Do y'all know why Gohan won that fight? Vegeta.
As much as I love Gohan, he's actually right. Like, if Vegeta never intervened, Gohan would have lost. And actually, even though this doesn't pertain to canon, but if you guys have played Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, you actually see that happen, right? Like, where nobody intervened. The Cell Juniors, I think, paired up with Cell and wiped out Gohan. Like, even at that, that's super non-canon, but you guys get the point, right? Because Gohan did destroy all the Cell Juniors, but if Vegeta never intervened and distracted Cell from fighting Gohan, Gohan would have lost. That is absolutely true. And again, this is from a Gohan fanboy, and even I recognize that is true. Like, Gohan would have lost.
If Vegeta would have never distracted that nigga with that little weak ass beam, that nigga would have never been able to do the father-son Kamehameha. That wasn't even a father-son Kamehameha blast. That was a fucking abandoned dad. This nigga has abandonment issues. And then they nerf, oh my God, now we're talking about the series. And then they nerf Gohan. And then the next arc over, this nigga gets his ass fucking absorbed by fucking Boo. And then the nigga in GT become a fucking teacher. Oh my God.
All right, let's be serious. Again, I love Gohan, but they did nerf him. They definitely did nerf him. Apart from Ultimate Gohan, because if I'm not mistaken, Ultimate Gohan is stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Team Gohan. But even though they nerfed him, you got to remember that ultimately Gohan's goal was to become a scholar. You know what I'm saying? And again, he lived in times of peace. Like, he wasn't like, you know, super focused on like trying to protect the Earth, because the Earth was safe for so long. He had the leisure to be able to, you know, focus on what he really wanted to do, again, which was become a scholar. He went to school, you know, did his thing, all that good stuff, right? So I'm not denying the fact that they did nerf him, and they nerfed him pretty heavily leading up until he became Ultimate Gohan. Even Vegeta pointed out that Gohan was nowhere near as strong as he was during the Cell games, but that was obviously before he got Ultimate Gohan. But yeah, like, Gohan was able to like try to pursue his dream of becoming a scholar by continuing his studies, then being able to go to public school and all that stuff. And even at that, because of all that, he met his future wife, Fidel.
My God, oh my God. Y'all, I get on here to say this. Bro. Goku is literally the worst character in all of anime.
Okay. All right, come on now. Like, we all know that's cap. I mean, again, I'm not sitting here saying that Goku is the greatest character by any means. Of course not, right? Like, Goku absolutely has some solid flaws, right? But he's definitely not the worst character in all of anime. There are characters significantly worse than Goku, like by a large margin. So again, I'll let you guys do that research, but there are definitely characters out there who are worse than Goku, much worse.
He may be the most OP character. He may be the most OP character, but he is literally the worst. Go back and watch Dragon Ball Z. Y'all gonna see what the fuck I'm talking about. Y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. Vegeta, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, if anybody want to step in and see how Goku is not, you know, a piece of shit, I'd be happy to talk to y'all, but I'm just letting y'all know, bruh. This nigga Goku is a trash person, dog. This nigga is a trash character. He is trash. He is garbage. I don't care what nobody say. Goku can be the strongest fucking character in all of anime. It doesn't matter because he's a piece of shit character, bruh. I would even argue that Midoriya is a better character.
If he's talking about in terms of character development, I agree, because Midoriya did go from, like, you know, weak and defenseless to very powerful, and he's still training to get better. Personally speaking, right, and you know, you guys may disagree with that. You're completely open to have your own opinion. I actually do agree with that. I actually do agree with that. Like, Deku does show, like, much more character development than Goku does, right? Goku gets stronger, right? He gets more forms and all that stuff. That's cool and all, but Goku really doesn't get character development. He kind of stays, like, kind of a fool, honestly. He really does. And I'll actually get to that in a bit, but we're nearing the end of the video.
Is a fucking better character than fucking Goku. It ain't even about whining, right? Let's say, I guess, you know, at least Midoriya, and it's gonna take me a lot to say this, cause I can't stand that, but that nigga Midoriya, he got some character development. That nigga, he's came a long way.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
That's all, bro.
Okay, so that's the end of the video. So, when he says that Goku is actually, like, a trash person, the reason why that doesn't hold weight to his argument is because he was primarily focused on Dragon Ball Z, right? And that's also absolving all the other characters within the series as well. But the reason why the other characters are redeemable is because they did change over time. They all had development. Goku really didn't. But again, you gotta remember, like, Goku befriended a lot of villains, bro. He befriended Piccolo, right? He befriended Vegeta, who literally wiped people out to be able to sell planets to the highest bidder. You know what I'm saying? And was going to do the same thing for to Earth. You know what I'm saying? But of course, Vegeta, like, learned that, hey, oh, look, this might not be the way. What if I try doing it this way? And evolved as a character. So I can understand what he's saying, like, in that regard to a certain degree. But again, there are characters in Dragon Ball who are there who have done worse things than Goku did in Dragon Ball Z. Now, I remember I was saying that he should have mentioned Super, because if he mentioned Super, this would be a completely different argument, right? Now, in Dragon Ball Super, Goku is easily one of the... Okay. Goku is one of the most foolish characters in Dragon Ball Super. Yes. I mean, he gets new forms. He gets, like, new moves. All that stuff. Fights new enemies. That's all, like, cool and all. But remember that there is not a single person, not one, in Dragon Ball history that has put all of the universes in danger. All 12 of them. Goku, for whatever reason, like, actually not even whatever reason, just for the sake of wanting to be able to fight stronger people, put all of the universes in danger. Went against Beerus's orders to not interact with Zeno, still went anyway, had determinate power formed, and whichever, like, universe lost gets their entire universe erased. All of it. Like, and what's worse is whoever won the Tournament of Power, if they wished for something selfish, they would have wiped out the winning universe too, and all the universes would have been gone. All of them. So literally, in that regard, if he included Super, completely different discussion, and I would actually even agree that yes, Goku might be some trash, right? Actually, not even might be, he would be some trash. Again, Ultra Instinct is cool and all, but that would be really, really bad and hard to defend. But because he focused heavily on Dragon Ball Z and literally said, you know, hey, look, I'm not even here to talk about Super, he's not that bad in comparison to a lot of other characters in Dragon Ball Z. He's really not. Has he done foolish things? Yes. But is he trash? By no means. Or at least for Dragon Ball Z. But again, that's only my take. And like I said, hey, look, this is all love. Like, I don't want you guys trying to go out and spread some hate or anything of the sort, but I want you guys to have an open mind, right? Because it's just two different opinions about a particular topic. And anybody can think about, like, you know, they can have their own opinion about a character if they want to. You know, that is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And I actually do want to see what you guys think about all this. So if you guys, you know, agree with Griffy, hey, let me know in the comment section below. Explain your point. Completely open to discussion. Or if you agree with me, let me know in the comment section below and explain why you agree with my points and whatnot. Because I think that this is actually cool for a discussion. I think that this is actually dope for a pretty solid discussion. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.